you born and where do you live now?
I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, and I currently live here in Omaha, Nebraska.
When and why did you immigrate to the United States? Did you visit USA before you immigrated to the United States?
No, never been to the United States before coming in here. I came into the United States as a student back in 2001, and I landed in Chicago first, and then I got a scholarship to play soccer for Bellevue University, and so in 2003 I moved from Chicago to Omaha, Nebraska.
Why was it Chicago?
Well, that was where I first got an admission for schooling, and so that's when I went to Chicago. But then I realized that it was pretty expensive for me to really go to school there, and I was able to get a scholarship to come to Nebraska.
Did you play soccer in Nigeria?
Well, I did play soccer. I wasn't as good as I thought I was, but I was an average soccer player. But I improved my skills, and when I got to the United States, I continued playing, and so. One of the coaches at Bellevue University kind of realized my skills, and then I came down to Bellevue University to play soccer. I played for a couple of years, from 2003 to 2005.
What is the degree that you hold?
Well, my highest degree is actually in Master's in Information System. I had my undergraduate in accountancy, and also I'm a certified public accountant, and I also teach at Bellevue University as a professor.
Did you know English when you came? And what is the hardest word in English for you?
Well, there's still a lot of hard words I still cannot pronounce in English, so I'm not sure how to kind of control that. But I was fortunate enough to be able to speak regular British English when I came in 2001, but I still struggle with a lot of English language. Some people might think I speak a very good English. Yes, I do, but it's just understanding, American accent. I would call it an American accent. It was pretty difficult for me. I had my way of talking to people. I had my way of understanding, my friends and people that I talked to in Nigeria. But coming in to the United States was a big culture shock. I might speak English, doesn't mean I understand what other people were saying. So it was a real big culture shock for me.
What was the thing that impressed you the most when you relocated to the United States?
It's the opportunity. It's just the opportunity. It's the endless opportunity that I know I'm gonna get here in the United States. Back home when I was in Nigeria, I was just, I really didn't know what the next step is for me. I was just living it, my life day by day. But coming to the United States, I realized that, there's really more to do. I can really change the story of myself, change the story of my family, and change the story of anybody that's with me. And so when I got to the United States, everything about me changed. As I said earlier, I was an average person in Nigeria, but when I came into the United States, I realized my potential. I realized how smart I could be. I realized that, it's not just who I was then. This is people looking at me and saying, hey, you can be better than who you think you are right now, and that's what I've really tapped into, and I've really enjoyed so far.
What was the hardest thing to adjust to?
A lot. But I will tell one thing is understanding the American way, the American system, most especially being in the Midwest. When I was growing up in my culture, I can't look straight into somebody's eyes. If I do, it's a sign of disrespect. But when I came here, they look at me as a weakling. If I look straight into if I don't look to your eyes, they'll think I'm not confident enough or I don't know what I'm doing. And so I really had to adjust. When I go for interviews, I lost a lot of job opportunity, a lot of opportunity because I tend to take my eyes away from the person I'm looking at. But that wasn't a sign of weakness or sign of or not confidence. It's just because of respect. But then I had to adjust to it later on, okay, well, this ain't working for me. It didn't work for me for so long. And so, that's one thing I can point out to. But at the end of the day, I realized that, I have to really learn the system. I have to really learn the American way. My culture is there. I'm still engraved in what I know. But one thing about it is I took my time, and Bellevue University actually helped me a lot to really learn the American way, the American system, and so really understanding body languages, how to speak, what to do, how to react in public. Those are a lot of the things that were very difficult for me to adjust to, but eventually I did learn to.
What is your highest achievement in the United States?
I would say I'm still on my path to achieve the highest thing that I really want to. But where I am right now, what I would say is creating a nonprofit organization. I am a founder of a nonprofit organization called Life is Us. And what that do is to help children around the globe that don't have, they don't they don't have any hope at all. So what I look at is a lot of people have potentials, but you have to have people to really help you tap into this potential. As a kid, as a child, you really don't know what you have. You really don't know yourself. You really don't know anything at all. You don't even know where you're going to. And so I realized that when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was an entrepreneur, but nobody else to guide me to it. Nobody to look up to. Nobody else, nothing else. I didn't have any guidance. And so when I said life is us, the kids, the children had the future of the world. And so what I envision is like myself, a successful person like myself and everybody else going across the globe, helping our children say, you know what? You don't have to be a basketball player. You don't have to be a soccer player. You don't have to be a football player to be successful in life. Why don't you take what you have right now and maximize it? If you're a lady or a girl, you can be a hairdresser and make the most of it. You can be painting nails and make great out of it. You could be even a barber and make a great deal out of it. Just know that anything you envision or whatever you put yourself to do, you can really be successful in it. Do not limit yourself. Right now, I own a lot of businesses. I have a lot of investments, but those are just things that enable me to do what I am supposed to do as a human being.
What would you have done differently, and what would be your advice to a person that is planning to immigrate to the United States?
I wouldn't have done anything differently. What I would just advise people is just do not limit yourself. Do not listen to the negative. There's always going to be negativity. It's always going to surround you. But the most important thing is, okay, who are you? What do you want for yourself? Do you want to change the story or the narrative about you, or do you just want to be who you want other people to think you are? And so if you're coming to the United States or anywhere, United States is great. It's the free world, the land of the free. But wherever you are immigrating to, be prepared, okay? One thing I know is once you get an opportunity, right, it doesn't wait for the prepared. You have to be prepared before you get the opportunity. And so when you come to the United States, be ready to speak English, right? Most especially for those countries that don't speak English, learn English, educate yourself, know how to do something, be good at something. It doesn't matter what it is. You could be like a carpenter. You could just make sure you know how to do something. Don't wait for the opportunity to come first before you decide to take it. And so just prepare yourself before the opportunity comes.
Do you feel you have been embraced and welcomed by the community here in the United States and in Omaha in particular? I
think I have been. I will tell you my stories from my soccer coach, Aaron, back in 2003, to my college professors, Cindy Nye, Monica, that I still work with right now in college. I think I've been embraced. I've been fortunate. I won't use the word lucky, but I've been really, really fortunate, and it's because of the people that I've surrounded myself with. And so another thing I would say is make sure you surround yourself with good friends, people that are really going to help you get better. It's okay to have fun. Don't get me wrong. Have fun. But at the end of the day, be smart having fun. Surround yourself with good people, with people that are older than you, people that are more smarter than you, people that are going to just make you see things so that when you make mistakes, they are ready to pull you out. My first daughter is 14 years old. My story is if I didn't have my daughter at that young age when I had her, I probably would have been somewhere else, but she kept me here. And I think that's the event that I look at. She kept me here. I want to make sure she's okay. I want to be around her. And I think with understanding that, and I want to be the best dad, and I want to be a model to her too. And understanding that kind of like kept me here, wanted me to do better. So she kept me here. She's the reason for what I would say my success. I have 3 daughters. All girls. I don't even have any sons.
Do you think of yourself as American, as Nigerian, or as Nigerian American, or American Nigerian?
I think of myself as an international figure. I am an American, I'm an African, I'm a European, I'm everything. I just want to represent every culture that I can. At the end of the day, I'm sitting down here not because of me, but what I want to represent. Just to answer your question, yes, I will relate more as an African because, I always tell people you can take the monkey out of the bush, but you can never take the monkey out of him. So I'll always be an African. I always have my accent. I love it. But I just want people to look at me as just one person that's ready to really help everybody do things for the international community.
Shortly, do you think immigrating to the United States was the right decision, and why?
Absolutely, absolutely. where I'm from, and I hope this story changes, it's just a hopeless country. It's just a hopeless, we know we are over 200 million people emerging in a very small geographical area, and everybody's just trying hard to get things done. And there's so much corruption, there's so much, it's just so hard for people to get things done. It's just so hard for people to really succeed. And you see people drawn from one area to the other. And so coming to America has really changed changed my life. When I was back home in Nigeria, like I said, I really didn't think I had a future. I really didn't think I had a future. I really didn't know what I was. I didn't know if I was bright enough to be, to be anywhere. And coming to America really changed my story. From the first time I stepped in here to where I am right now, I just feel like I can do more, I can do more, I can do more. Back then, I feel like I'm just useless. And I think that's why they call it the land of the free. You can do whatever you want to do in the United States of America. And I hope immigration story can be changed. I hope that people can really see that. People don't just want to come here to be, drug addicts or to be, criminals. They just want a better life. And I'm sure a lot of people could attest to that, what I'm saying right now, that America has changed their life, and I hope this story about immigration does change. I'm just 36 years old. In total, if I count it, I probably have about almost 60 to 70 employees.